Welcome back to another episode of the Palace Diaries with Queen Bee. And today I'm joined by my friend Kayla to talk about our favorite books, what we love about reading, and our next TBRs to be read. So Kayla, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
What is your relationship to reading, and have you always been a reader?
Well, yeah, I've always been a reader ever since I was little. I think there's been points in my life where I've kind of dropped reading. Like, I've gone through phases where sometimes I would read a lot and sometimes I wouldn't. Yeah.
Same. I was always reading in elementary school, and I feel like I kind of stopped in, like, 5th grade, like, middle school. And then, I picked up in high school, and then, honestly, like, once high school finished, I mean, I read, like, poetry and stuff. I loved reading poetry. But I didn't really read novels like that, and I feel like every time I did, I never finished it. And it wasn't until this year where I actually finished reading and, like, actually was, like, reading novels consistently, and I'm really happy about that.
That's great.
So my next question is, what is your favorite genres to read?
I don't know if I have a favorite genre. I'll read almost anything, but I think what I like is when you read a book and it kind of makes you think about life or society or stuff like that. So maybe like a philosophical type of book, if you consider that a genre.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I am a romance novel girly. I love romance novels. I think they're really cute and just like, they're just so uplifting. I think that's the best way I could describe it. It's really uplifting, and I feel like it raises your standards a whole lot. And I think there's so many common tropes. It's really predictable. I can't even lie to you. It's really predictable. Like, the friends to lovers, fake dating. We all know how that goes. What's the other one? Enemies to lovers is a really common one. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of common tropes within the romance novel genre. So, but it's still, like, the way it all plays out. It's so interesting. I think, like, the character development is so good. Like, yeah. And I love, like, rereading them. Like, I've been doing that lately. Like, rereading, like, books I finished. Romance novels I finished. So, yeah. One of them that actually got me out of my reading slump this year is called The Love Hypothesis. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Very popular. It actually got a lot of people out of their reading slump. Like, I was reading the reviews and they were like, oh my God, like, I haven't been reading for a long time and this book got me out of my slump. Like, it's so good. It's like, do you know what it's about?
It's something about a scientist who falls in love or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so this girl named Olive, she's in grad school and she fake dates her professor so her friend could go and be with her ex-boyfriend. Like, she says she had a crush on her ex-boyfriend. She's like, it's okay, like, I'm fine. So she kisses him, they fake date, and yeah, they fall in love. He's a scientist, basically, and it's in grad school too, and so they're in their late 20s doing this. So it's actually pretty hilarious, but it was really cute. I would love to read, like, another academia book. It's by Ali Hazelwood.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give that one.
Yeah,
check it out.
Yes. What is a book you've recently finished, and what is a book you want to read next?
The last book that I finished was called I Who Have Never Known Men.
What is that about?
The book is basically about I think it's about 40 women, and they're in an underground bunker. They don't know how they got there, and eventually, like, an alarm sounds and it kind of opens and they're let out into the real world. But the real world is like, there's like no trees or not trees, no animals outside, no anything. It's just like a bare plain of like grass or whatever. So they have to try and survive. And yeah, that's basically what it is.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. Kind of dark.
Yeah.
So a book I recently finished was called Practice Makes Perfect. It is a romance novel. And it's about a girl named Annie Walker. She lives in Rome, Kentucky. I never knew that was an actual place, like Rome, Kentucky.
In Kentucky.
Yeah. It's a small town. And, she wants to get married. She's 28 years old. And, she's always felt like she hasn't been good at dating. And I feel like at that age, that's a valid thing to want, And, her sister-in-law was like, girl, I can put you onto my bodyguard. And, you know, he got the tattoos. He's muscular. He's tall, has curly hair. Like, he is everything. And, you know, he becomes your dating coach. And, yeah, they fall in love. Very interesting play out. I will say there were many issues along the way. Commitment issues. It makes me realize I cannot be with somebody who has commitment issues. Like, you gotta be all about me. Like, ain't no way. But yeah, what is a book you want to read next?
I actually already started reading another book. I think it's called Black Cake. It's a Trinidadian book.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like based around these two siblings, and their mother had recently died, and they have to like uncover some hidden secret about her past. Oh, wow. Yeah, I think they just made it into a show on Hulu, actually.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
I feel like that trope, like, where, like, parents have, like, secrets is really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like, you know, you think they've been truthful to you about everything, and then they got all these, like, uncovered deep secrets that you don't know about, and you're like, oh, my God. That's a show on Amazon, too, Shelter. I forgot who it stars, but it has to do with that trope. And it's a book too, actually. It's a trilogy, and they managed to fit it in 8 episodes. Like, everything that happened in all the trilogies. It's really crazy. But another book, or books I want to read, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah. So that one is about Evelyn Hugo. She's like the it girl in Hollywood. She's a world-renowned actress, and she chooses a particular journalist to write her story, or like an autobiography or something. And the journalist was like, why me? Like, you know, and the journalist herself has had, like, I think she was divorced or something like that. And then things get revealed. Like, she talks about her 7 husbands and just the trajectory of her life. Like, it's crazy. But, like, that is a book I want to read. And people have said, like, that's the best book they've, like, ever read. So, yeah, I've seen the reviews. It's really good. But, yeah, I want to read that one. And, a next book I want to read, I don't have another title in particular, but something by a black author. I think we should always support black authors.
Yeah, that's what I want to do too.
Yeah,
especially Caribbean ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I would definitely want to read another book by a black author. This is another book that I've actually read before, but I haven't read it like the whole thing. But it's called The 5 Love Languages. Have you heard of that one?
No.
It's by Gary Chapman. I actually got recommended this book by my psychology professor. And she said, like, this book will, like, change the relationships you have with people. And I started reading it, and, like, I feel like it's that book that you need to have in your life. Like, you know, one of those educational books. So, yeah, it goes over the love languages, talks about, like, how love forms and stuff like that. It's really interesting. But yeah, more educational books too, like nonfiction. I love the fiction, but I think being able to read something educational and not getting it from online is really great. So I want to try that as well. So yeah, thank you for joining me in today's episode.
No problem.
This was really fun.
Yeah,
and tune in next time for another episode on the Palace Diaries.